Good morning from Tauranga. Goeiemorgen.
Morgen.
Lovely 7 degrees outside, so it is nearly winter here, but we're not complaining too much. This morning we thought to change around our whole way of what we are doing and trying to do. We're actually going to talk this morning about everything that's happening in South Africa and everything that's happening that's bad in South Africa. And I see there's been heaps of people trying different things, and we're going to enlighten people a bit about that. So what's your thoughts on what's happening in South Africa?
All I want to say is everyone in South Africa, don't think just because we are not in South Africa that we are not worried. It's still our country. It's still our people. We are still worried. We're very worried. And it's an emotional time for everyone in New Zealand that's got family in South Africa. Everyone is going. It's really emotional.
Yeah. Except the emotions, we are really, really worried. I just want to shift this camera that we can get more of your lovely face and not too much of my lovely face. So, all right. We've decided to speak to somebody in South Africa as well. That's there on the ground. So let's bring in Caroline. Caroline, good morning. Goeiemorgen.
Goeiemorgen. Good morning.
We'll have to talk English to this morning. We normally speak Afrikaans to each other, but we'll have to speak English this morning.
No.
What's happening on how can I say what's happening in real life in South Africa?
Well, initially, as the media basically plays it out, the idea was that people basically came up in arms, or went up in arms because of Zuma's arrest. But I think what basically is happening now is the criminals are just taking advantage of the situation and looting properties, damaging properties, taking what's not theirs. And it's bad because, people are losing their jobs. There's a few malls that have burned down, and I've heard them saying that for each mall that burns down, it's about 5,000 people that lose their jobs. And I think, that's also going to aggravate the whole situation of poverty and, people living in fear, basically. I know in KZN, there's also a lot of the communities, the people living there that have literally taken the job onto themselves to defend their families. And there's a lot of footage on it. I don't know if you've seen it in New Zealand on Facebook and so.
We've seen some of the footage. The problem is the television stations, due to the cost and so on, they don't run more than, I would say, 1.5 minutes of stuff about South Africa. I do understand why. South Africa's not the only country in the world that's currently got problems. But
yes.
The other problem, or let me ask you this question rather. Where are you in South Africa?
I'm luckily in Standerton, Mpumalanga, which is a tiny little town if you drive towards Durban or the KwaZulu-Natal. But it's quite far from all the drama. We haven't had any incidents here, luckily, but we have had in Ermelo and I heard Kriel and Betal that they started with a bit of an uprising. But we've actually vouched as a whole town, as Standerton, that we won't, what's the word? We won't stand for any looting or violence or anything. We're going to put our foot down because the little that we have, we want to preserve. I mean, we don't have water or electricity or anything at this stage, so we don't want to lose even more of it. So,
I spoke to my sister-in-law this morning. She's in Kimberley, and she said at the moment it's very quiet there. If she didn't see what was happening on the media, she wouldn't have known that anything is happening. But she said what is so nice, we spoke about it this morning, is that in the smaller little towns in that area, the taxis and the people in general are standing together. So if it looks like someone is trying to become
violent,
aggressive and try to loot, they will just kind of form a barrier with the taxis and the people to try and stop them.
This I find very interesting. When I left in South Africa, public enemy number one was the white taxi.
Yep.
Now it looks like that same white taxi is becoming the solution to a lot of problems.
Yeah, but it's
also good. No, it's what I'm saying is actually so positive. You can't believe. I mean, I've been driving a lot in South Africa when I was working there, And I've had many harrowing experiences with white taxis driving like real crap in South Africa. And suddenly these guys are stepping up to the plate and saying, this is our town as well. We won't allow other people with the same color as them to break down this town. And I think that is wow. That is absolutely coming out of this rubbish that there is. This is absolutely wow, really. I mean, I think this is a great moment. It's an
and it shows us as South Africans basically being able to stand together. Doesn't matter your color, your creed,
irrespective of your skin color or where you work or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, we all feel the pain at the end of the day. If everything's burnt to ash, we're gonna have to rebuild it together. And we don't want that. We've come so far.
And it sounds like people are really worried about the availability of petrol and diesel and stuff. Right?
Yes, and even food. As I was telling Jan off camera earlier, they mentioned that I don't know if the whole sugar plantation or parts of the sugar plantation has been burnt. So I think we might be suffering some sugar shortages shortly. And I know the value trucks, those value, value, the whole depot has basically been destroyed. And they also distribute a lot of the food that goes out to your Checkers and ShopRite and Woolies. And so there might be a bit of food shortages, of certain products and stuff as well.
And someone told me last night that they know someone in South Africa is a dairy farmer. And there's 8 milk trucks that's been burnt down. So they can't transport the milk. So at the moment, they're just dumping the milk on the fields.
What a waste.
The milk.
Yeah. Because you can't switch the cars on and off.
So there will be a shortage of milk. Milk is available, but you just can't get it to the people.
That's terrible.
It's really so
Caroline, from my side, I haven't got the funniest idea. What does a bread cost these days on a normal day in South Africa?
Well, let me ask you this. What did it cost you before you left?
10 rand.
10, 11
rand.
I think. Yeah.
This is in 2018, 2017.
Well, now you're looking at if you buy something like what's the cheaper brand? Not Mariska. There's another brand now. You pay anything between 16 and 18 rand, and then if you buy like Albany, you're looking at about 21 rand.
Okay, because I've just received some news this morning early that breads are being sold off the truck in some of the areas in KZN for 70 rand a bread. I told you about that. That's 70 rand a bread. And that's all that is available. There is none other available.
No,
that's terrible.
Don't buy 10 kilograms of flour.
Oh, that's going to run out as well. If you can't transport the stuff and the warehouses have been burned, it is going to run out. The refinery in KwaZulu-Natal that supplies 45% of all petrol there has stopped. They're not even supplying petrol anymore.
We got a letter. I can't show it to you online, but we've got received a letter from I don't know if it's a petrol association or whatever, where they said that they cannot transport fuel to the rest of the country. So if you have in your town, fill up and stock up, but they don't want to say it because they don't want to cause like a panic buy. But I must say our town so far, don't come to Stonington, has enough petrol and diesel, and nobody's rushing or anything. But my brother sent me a video this afternoon in Pretoria where he is, and the people were queuing like crazy, and he's there in the Wilgers, close to the hospital, the Wilgers Hospital. So he says it's a madhouse. So I think the cities and the bigger places are going to have hassles with fuel, but the ones I don't think so much.
So South Africa currently, sorry for you guys have still got level 4 lockdown with COVID.
Yes.
You got rampant looting.
Yep.
You've got power interruption. That's crazy.
And can I interrupt you? Can I mention something? We've got lekwa shedding, as we call it here in Standerton, because our municipality is lekwa municipality. The power came on now at 9 o'clock. 7 on the dot there by you guys. It was off from 7 until 9. And now we've got power.
7 tonight or 7 in the morning?
No, 7 tonight until 9 tonight, and then tomorrow morning again from 5 to 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I think from 11 to 1 o'clock, and then again from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So it changes up. It's crazy.
really, you must feel so hopeless, because I don't know. We feel hopeless for you.
Yeah, we invested in solar, but that's not the end. We want to get out. So the soonest we can leave, we're going to leave. My 2 sons aren't going to grow up here.
No.
Well, I think I run about 10 Facebook pages. I've never seen so many people at the same time applying to join these pages. It has been quiet now with COVID, people joining, let's say 5 to 10 a day, but suddenly you're talking about 20 to 30 to 50 people a day just wanting to join and get out.
And the sad thing is, at the moment, no one can leave. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's the sad thing.
The funds. I mean, it's not cheap to immigrate. You know, all the visas and the stuff.
There's just no way that you can get out of the country at the moment.
No, not now. Yeah.
Let me see if there's any questions. Guys, if you got any questions, any comments this morning, see a lot of people saying good morning. And people saying bread price between 11 Rand and 17 Rand. For the New Zealanders, that's about $1.1 and $1.7. Bread is expensive in New Zealand for South Africans, but if you're used to the New Zealand dollar, it's not that bad. What do you pay for bread these days? No?
$3.29.
Oh, $3.29. It's actually nearly cheaper to buy bread in New Zealand than in South Africa. So at 70 Rand a bread.
No.
Well, all the other questions will come through here. Only this one, this side, that's a little bit of a hiccup.
Yeah.
So
it's really bad. I have an uncle that lives in Durban, and he said to my mother this morning that there's only one petrol station in the Bluff that still has petrol available, and the cars is just terrible. They went to buy meat yesterday just to stock up for a week or so. He said they waited in line for 2.5 hours just to get meat.
Yes.
And they bought the last milk off the shelf last night from their dairy.
The local cafe down there. The other rumor that we heard this side is that the police ran out of bullets. Is that so?
No, I think they just numbered, to be honest. I mean, it's like a swarm of ants. There's no comparison. 3 or 4.
No way. They don't stand a chance. Yeah, they don't stand a chance.
And apparently the army has been deployed, and they actually came through the town this morning or afternoon, heading towards KZN. So apparently later the week they'll be coming back through again, but I haven't seen them. I only heard the trucks passing by.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a question here. Is online shopping from grocery stores effective at the moment in South Africa? That would be quite interesting question,
Yeah. I haven't tried because it's Standerton and everything's like literally not even a K away. It's easy just to go and pick up. But we don't actually have online delivery functions here unless you do take a lot. I'm
wondering if that is a way that we can maybe help our parents and stuff over there if we buy online and have it delivered to them. But I don't think.
Let's talk about help quickly.
Yeah.
There has been, I would say, an uprising in New Zealand about people that wanting to help. There's been heaps of Facebook pages that for people just reaching out that want to go out, that wants to do something for the South Africans, and it's absolutely wow.
Yes, but what can we do except pray? What can we do?
Yeah, I want to go as far to say if we now do a march from wherever people want to do a march, it's not going to help a lot. It's really not going to help a lot. It's not going to stop the looters in South Africa.
No.
It's not going to make a more effective government.
It will build community.
It will build community here. Yeah. But we need something in South Africa.
I don't know.
I don't know what. So
it's difficult.
Taxis coming together in PE here, also not standing for looting. Great to see that. That's good. I'm so glad. And I think, guys, you should reach out to those people that are coming together. Good morning, Mr. Furi.
Yes, live. Where? Yes, live.
Good morning. Good evening.
Yeah,
I want to see if I can share a screen.
Yes,
down
I have
the
coffee.
side.
I'm also having my coffee.
There's no service with a smile.
Yeah. This is Send Help for South African. This is somebody in Whakatane. They started this page yesterday. They've asked me to help them with this, and this is going to be for South Africans living in New Zealand who wants to assist their family and friends or some other South Africans who need help in South Africa now. So fundraising campaign that they want to do down there or want to do in New Zealand and then help with rebuilding South Africa, which I think is a brilliant idea. So wherever you are in New Zealand, if you can take somebody's hand, do that, please. Please, that's important. And to the people out there who's got family in New Zealand or in South Africa, gee, it's a dark time for us in New Zealand. So I can just think what you guys are going through that side. So it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Jan, if I can add to what Mariska was saying earlier about her family in the Bluff going out to buy groceries and whatnot. One thing that makes it difficult is like in a situation like this, nobody knew it was coming. I mean, how they're going to try and arrest Zuma. There's something coming, but we didn't know this. So there's a lot of people who don't even have the finances, to quickly run to the store and buy 6 cartons of this and, boxes of milk and, flour and all that. So I think this, the project or the page that you shared earlier, that will help a lot of people just to help fund them to get a little bit together, just to keep food on the table for their families.
There was no time to prepare financially.
No.
I just saw that.
And a lot of,
sorry.
No, it's fine. A lot of people aren't in the financial to even keep a monthly, surplus. A lot of people literally live from the hand to the mouth. Or how do they say? Yeah, from the hand to the mouth.
Yeah. And the problem with COVID, it hasn't made anything easier. Actually, it just made it worse.
Not at all. Yeah, definitely.
So Rihanna van Tonder is saying that Checkers is 60% operational in Port Elizabeth. Well, 60% is better than 0.
Is it 60%?
Yes.
I believe it's 60%. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the belief in 60% there. So, something else that's happening tonight in Tauranga. Hope you guys could come around. If you're in Tauranga, come around a Memorial Park, 6 o'clock tonight. Pray for South Africa. It's going to be 6 o'clock. We are going to see if we can live stream from there to show our support to the rest of the world as well.
I saw that it is not only in Tauranga. I saw there's also Hamilton has also got a get
also
together.
At 6 o'clock?
I think so. So I wonder if this is not a national kind of thing.
Okay, that'll be great. Yeah. That'll be great. So wherever you are, it looks in New Zealand, somewhere along the lines, there will be some prayer place tonight for South Africans. And I mean, that's needed for us. We are down here. We're in the dark as to what is happening to you people. So,
the thing is, we just feel so hopeless. Yeah. We worry about the people that are there, and we really don't know what else to do. We really don't know.
That's crazy. My cousin lives in Queenstown, and she also just messaged me and asked me even before this whole thing. Yeah. Yo, when are we coming and how's how are plans going? I said no, very very slow, as you know, COVID, it's not helping. Yeah. And they're all stressing about over us, and I feel everybody's pain because I'm also stressing, but we are in the heat of it, at least not like directly like in KZN, but we're still in the country, and it's a beautiful country, as you know, and but it's not nice being stressed out about food shortages.
And now with the people queuing for 2.5 hours with the possibility of getting COVID in those lines, of course, I can just imagine there's no social distancing at the moment, I suppose. People are just,
I've got to go back to what we said previously for Rihanna saying Checker 60 is operational.
I was wondering.
All right. Checker 60 is an app. It's an app called Checker 60 that helps with grocery delivery. So it'll be interesting to know if we can buy from New Zealand on that app. It will be really interesting to get that delivered. I mean,
that would be great.
A mum in South Africa, you've got parents in South Africa, we've got children in South Africa. So that'll be great.
Yeah.
So Oh, thanks, Rihanna, for that.
Even with that group in Whakatane now, if there's a way that we can get to know which people really needs the help and get groceries delivered to them or something, that would be great.
Somebody just asking the group in Whakatane. I'll share that group a bit later in the comments below. So, guys, it's not easy for for us that has left South Africa, but I think it's much worse for you guys that have stayed behind. And from our side, I want to say that you are in our prayers daily. And I mean, that this has even come to us as a shock. When I saw they are going to arrest Zuma, or he's going to give him, when I saw they are going to arrest Zuma, I thought somewhere along the line something will have to pop. And then I saw he gave himself up peacefully. Then I thought, geez, okay, something is not right here. But it looks to me more like it's not about a Zuma thing anymore. It's more about criminals going out and just getting
the one guy on the news last night said, in the midst of all that looting going on, it's not our fault we're hungry. Now I'm thinking, why don't you then steal food? Why do you steal TV?
A fridge and a bed.
You don't have to burn the place down if you're hungry. So everyone is just thinking of some kind of way to explain why they're doing what they're doing. It's terrible.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories going around, but we're not conspiracy theorists, so we'll keep that to ourselves.
But without going to conspiracy, I don't think this widespread violence, I don't think it could have come spontaneously. Let's be quite frank.
No, they had to. Someone had to start it.
But I'm not going to go there.
No, don't go
I'm not going to go there. But I just don't think it could have happened spontaneously.
No, it's not spontaneous at all.
No, that's just too coincidental. Charlene Bossoff saying on the other channel, sorry, we can't put that on screen. We fear for our families every day. Now it is much worse, and we can only pray and help where we can. I believe she would be in New Zealand as well. So yeah, our thoughts are with our families, and even with people that we don't know. We've got a big empathy for people that are still stuck in South Africa. We know this is not going to be over very soon. So
someone else said that they've used that app to buy groceries from New Zealand. She used the New Zealand card to pay, so we can actually do that.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
That's good to know. Thank you, Chantal. That's good to know.
Oh yeah. See, sorry, I missed that one. Yeah, Chantal as well. 25,000 troops have been deployed, are on their way to KZN. If I'm right, with the first COVID lockdown, there was 70,000 troops deployed.
Okay, but are these people allowed to shoot, or how do they try to keep things?
It's apparently supposed to be an unarmed type of expedition, but people are saying, how could they have deployed so many troops in the first lockdown just to arrest surfers and beach bums?
Yeah.
Well, the reason is easy. The politics have failed South Africa. That's the easy part. So, But I'm not even going to try and take a perspective on where this is going. I've already seen the rand starting to slide back against the US dollar and all other major world currencies as well. And somewhere along the line, that can go very pear-shaped, which is not good for South Africa if they need to buy food in now, which they probably in the long run would need to do. So that could be the start of a higher inflation than normal. I mean, the inflation in South Africa is already very high. So
and it's going to make it more difficult for us to leave and anybody to leave eventually.
It is because you need money this side for startup, and it's even going to become more rands just to get to the same value this side. Or
bigger pension fund is going to be taken up in 20 seconds flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our son is working in Bahrain at the moment, and he now has just said that he's working with an Aussie there, who told him that they received a letter from the Australian government saying, warning people to travel to South Africa. And he asked Charles why they're not allowed, what is going on in South Africa. So people still don't know what's going on.
Well,
really.
If you take the news in New Zealand was 1.5 minutes of looting, and that was that. There's no I know the one newspaper tried to blow up a few, once again saying white militants have stopped people from looting, and I mean, come on, I mean, these guys are protecting the country.
And I know so the question in New Zealand at the moment on all the Facebook pages isn't there any way that we can get our people to New Zealand, like what do you call it?
Yeah.
Um,
I actually went into
refugee status, refugees.
Yeah,
Yes.
As a refugee,
I went to read up on this, but it's a bit of a grey area. Point one, you need to be in a war zone, and they won't recognize this as a war zone.
Although it is.
Now the
No,
other
the
trick is,
UN,
the other
the
trick
UN
is
does not
where you got to
recognize us.
apply for this.
That's the
Yeah.
thing, but I don't think it's possible. But I think that is, everyone realizes that this is really bad, but there's just no way that you can get your people out of there.
The other problem is,
Yeah.
is to apply. You can't sit in South Africa in your house and apply for refugee status in New Zealand. They won't allow that. Point
No.
one. So you have to be in a
Yeah.
camp somewhere,
Homeless,
or you have to be arriving at the border here and then asking for asylum,
and you can't.
and you can't fly. It's
Yeah.
a catch-22 situation. So the refugee thing could probably work, but there's just no way to get that to work. So yeah.
No. There was a few years back, I have a South African lady. Her husband was in Australia, and she couldn't get over. And she and her 2 kids got on a flight, and they just, said, "Sorry, we're refugees. We can't go back to South Africa." And they kept her in a camp for a while. I think it was like a 2-star hotel or 3-star hotel, so it wasn't like crazy. But eventually, she was reunited with her husband. But that's Australia. So yeah, I wouldn't take the chance myself.
No.
I'm a bit too scared. I like to plan stuff and know where I'm heading. But yeah, no, that's a bit crazy. She had a lot of guts.
Yeah, and one thing that people forget about being a refugee, and I know a lot of people now say, it's fine. You are never allowed to go back to your home country or to the country where you came from as a refugee. You're not allowed to go back. So that's one of the restrictions there.
Yeah.
Let me just see. They did something on New Zealand immigration, but to me, it sounds like if you are stuck here and too scared to go back, then there is a way to apply.
Okay, at least for the people that's
Whoever popped this on, can you send me more information on this? If there is a way, we need to get it out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my word.
So and then our managed isolation it's not working very good this side.
Full.
So
I think the first opening is in
November. Yeah, that's Mariska said something like November only. So it's hectic.
Oh my. No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
As is Afrikaans one saying New Zealand het nie eers SA op lys van lande waar hulle refugees toelaat nie. So New Zealand don't even have South Africa on the list of countries where refugees are allowed to come from. All right, that person said he will send that to me. Okay.
Oh, great. Thanks.
All right, Caroline, that time of the morning, thanks for talking with us. We are going to say goodbye to the people, and then we'll talk to you again. So,
great.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Guys, that was Caroline from Standerton. South Africa is still doom and gloom. If you are out there and you want to join one of the groups that are having a prayer tonight in New Zealand, go look at your local areas somewhere along the line. I know the RCK, the South African Church in New Zealand, they are part of this. So have a look at their website. Perhaps they can have, they will have it on there if there is a function like this in your area. Go and join them and be there. And join one of the many groups that is going to do something for South Africans. Please, we need help back in South Africa. It's not an easy go. Somebody said about getting the gift of the givers, but their warehouse have been looted, so they've also run out of stock. So this was a difficult morning because our hearts are sore. You can't say that nicely in English. My heart is seer.
Yeah,
that's Afrikaans word. So for the English people, that actually means my heart is sore, but it's much more emotional in Afrikaans. So guys, stay out there. Those of you that can and will help other people around you, please do that. You are in our thoughts every day. All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
See you all.